Town officials are working to craft a 5-year capital improvement plan. We have details about how projects are selected. Plus, could there one day be a third bridge over the Cape Cod Canal? We hear from Cape Cod Chamber CEO Wendy Northcross about a proposal that would do just that. And a local nonprofit wants to help individuals with physical disabilities have greater access to the water. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, December 18th, 2013. I'm Sarah Mantle. State transportation officials are studying a plan to build a third bridge across the Cape Cod Canal. Cape Cod Chamber of Commerce CEO Wendy Northcross says she is glad to see a long-range plan to deal with the Cape's traffic backups being developed.
This really comes out of years of meeting with the Canal Area Task Force and the Army Corps and really struggling with bridge construction, bridge repair issues. And over the last 17 years that I've been in this position at the Cape Cod Chamber, it's just been really obvious that our traffic reputation stems from those very narrow bridges that are now under chronic maintenance cycles. So, not only were they narrow and small to begin with, but now we have lane restrictions on a pretty consistent basis, and there was no plan. There was no long-range plan for bridge replacement. So we really put the plea out there for someone needs to at least be thinking about this, and we're now getting some answers, and we're quite pleased at the fact that someone's looking at this realistically.
Northcross says the beauty of a plan to build a third bridge across the canal is that it's simple.
And it is not easy to come up with simple solutions. I know that the state heard us. We actually asked the Army Corps to give us back the bridges and just let us take care of them, and we will figure out how to paint at night, and we will figure out those other things, because there seemed to be this inability to get creative on solutions. So the state highway folks actually went back to Boston after a meeting and kind of put pencil to paper, and then came back to us this summer and said, we've got some concepts, we've got some ideas. Do you mind if we run them by you? We looked at them actually on the 3rd of July. We were sitting in an office in Hyannis looking at them with some of our elected officials and transportation officials and saying, this looks like it might have some merit. I brought them back to meet with my executive committee this fall, and we said, this looks even better. We've been talking to some other key stakeholders, especially those in the canal area, and quite simply, I think of it as more of an expansion of the existing bridge that we have, but we don't take down the Sagamore Bridge. We just put a brand new bridge just slightly to the south, 15 feet away from the existing bridge. So it actually looks like now an expanded Sagamore Bridge has a minimal impact on its footprint. It uses existing roadways. There may be, 20 to 30 parking spaces that get taken over in that Market Basket shopping center area there. Won't touch Market Basket, but we'll maybe take a little bit of land taking there. The rest of the land is already within the four corners of the state highway's purview, and we create an onbound bridge to the Cape. And the old bridge becomes an outbound bridge from the Cape. So you have 2 lanes coming down from Boston, a 3rd lane that's a brand new road that comes up from Route 25 that connects up just before, Route 3 ends. You have those 3 lanes coming over the bridge. Then you have an exit ramp that takes one of those lanes off down by Market Basket. In the meantime, the outbound lanes, and this is part of the beauty of the plan, the 2 lanes that come down Route 6 to leave the Cape, they meet up with that 3rd ramp, that exit 1 interchange that's right at the foot of the Christmas tree shop that's been a block blockade, actually, for that merge, that has its own lane going off the Cape. So you now have 3 lanes going over the bridge. Again, there's an exit ramp on the other side of the bridge. People have to merge over, take that exit ramp and go, but they've been able to negotiate that, quite nicely. The state highway guys have crunched a lot of these scenarios and said, we think this will work. What do you think? And it's like, yes. So I have literally been working to show key stakeholders this, to say, what holes can you punch in this plan? Is there any reason this idea shouldn't continue to move forward? And there's virtually nothing that people complain about except maybe the tolling. But if we don't create an at highway speed toll for that bridge, then we're waiting 20 to 50 years for a bridge fix. And I don't think we have 20 to 50 years to wait.
A state commission studying the plan is expected to release a report on their findings sometime in February. Budget planning is in full swing in the town of Barnstable. Department heads recently submitted budget plans that will now be reviewed by a town budget team. Finance Director Mark Milne says they received about 100 different requests from various town departments.
We have to go through the 100 projects, meet with department heads, review each one individually, try to sort out the priorities, which ones are deemed to be discretionary versus non-discretionary, which ones may fall into a category of an emergency type of repair, if any, et cetera. And so we're starting that process now. Again, there's like close to 100 projects on this list, so we'll have several meetings to flush all this out.
Milne talks about how the budget team rates all of the various project requests.
We have 10 different criteria that we use to determine a score for each project, and those criteria include things such as the project's contribution to the public health and safety, or economic development, or the town's quality of life, any relationship to an existing plan, or it's the protection of the capital asset. So we have a team of individuals in the town that look at every single one of these projects and give each one of the projects a score under each one of those categories, and then we total it all up and see how they each score against those 10 criteria. We also have our comprehensive financial advisory committee perform the same task, and then we bring the 2 reports together to see if there's any commonalities between the 2 scoring processes that took place, and then use that. Town manager will use that scoring matrix to factor into his decision-making process as to what goes before the town council.
The capital budget will be finalized early next year in February. Sailing is a Cape Cod tradition, and one local nonprofit that helps individuals get out on the water is looking to expand its programming. Sail Cape Cod had a successful first season, running a full lineup of programs for individuals of all ages and socioeconomic backgrounds last summer. Now, in order to reach even more individuals with physical disabilities, the organization would like to install a 400-pound lift on the Gary Brown boat ramp. Program Director Bryony Scudder asked the Waterways Committee for their support last night.
We are interested in installing a Hoya lift onto the Gary Brown ramp, and we have come here to ask for your blessing. Just to give you a little bit of background about Sail Cape Cod, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization started by a group of avid sailors from the Cape, hoping to make sailing more accessible regardless of physical development or socioeconomic issues. We began programming this past summer in 2013, and we focused mainly on outreach programs. We worked with Capabilities, Community Connections, Arc of Cape Cod, Life Inc., which all dealt with individuals with disabilities. And we also worked with Cape Cod Collaborative, taking a group of at-risk teens out. Through those programs, we were able to service 125 people, offering free day sails in Lewis Bay. This year, with the help of the Hoya Lift, we're hoping to add some new partners that we weren't able to get out on the water this past summer, including Cord, the Kennedy Donovan Center, Chips House, Spalding Rehab, Capable Adventures, and the Highness Youth Task Force. And we'd like to introduce adaptive sailing program to focus specifically on physical disabilities.
The committee ultimately voiced support for the addition of a Hoyle lift on the Gary Brown boat ramp. We will keep you updated as this project progresses. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.